Welcome, everyone. I'm excited to kick off today's session with a powerful idea. The ending is everything. We'll explore how planning all the way to the end can make a real difference. This is Law 29, a crucial principle for success. Over the next few minutes, we'll discuss strategies to ensure your plans are comprehensive and goal-oriented. So, let's dive in and see how thinking ahead can transform your results. The ending is everything. When we think about success, it's not just about how we start or even how we perform along the way, but how we plan for the final outcome. That's why it's crucial to plan all the way to the end. By doing so, we can anticipate all the possible consequences, obstacles, and even unexpected twists of fortune that might come our way. Sometimes, those twists can reverse all our hard work and even give the glory to others instead. So the key is to think ahead, to prepare for those moments. When you plan to the end, you won't be overwhelmed by circumstances that seem to pop up unexpectedly. Instead, you'll know exactly when to push forward, when to pivot, and when to stop. This strategic foresight is what separates a good plan from a great one, and it's essential for achieving true success. When we talk about vision versus vagueness, it's really about the difference between having a clear plan and just wandering without direction. Without a clear plan, you can find yourself lost in what I like to call the fog. In that fog, you're just reacting to events as they happen, rather than actively shaping the outcome. It's exhausting because you're improvising all the time, and it's easy to fall into traps set by those who do have a plan. Now, this fog of war is a common challenge. Most people tend to think only 1 or 2 steps ahead. They're driven by emotion and immediate reactions. But the strategist, the one who truly leads, looks at the big picture. They focus on the ultimate goal and then work backward, making sure each step is aligned with that final destination. That brings us to the importance of a clear vision. When your vision is well-defined, every action you take moves you closer to your goal. It's about clarity, purpose, and strategic thinking. Having that clear vision helps you cut through the fog, stay focused, and make deliberate choices. That's how you turn chaos into a controlled, purposeful effort, which is essential for success in any complex situation. So Bismarck had a very strategic approach when it came to warfare. He planned 3 specific wars, against Denmark, Austria, and France, each carefully chosen to serve his ultimate goal. But what's really important here is that he knew exactly when to stop. For example, after defeating Austria, he didn't march on Vienna or humiliate them. Instead, he ended the war quickly and kept Austria as a potential ally. This restraint was key because it helped secure his overall victory. Now, the main goal driving all these actions was clear: the unification of Germany under Prussia's leadership. Bismarck's approach was not just about winning battles, but about doing so in a way that strengthened his position for the bigger prize, creating a unified Germany. This slide highlights his calculated, strategic mindset, knowing when to fight, when to hold back, and always keeping his eye on that unification goal. It's a perfect example of how his careful planning and restraint made all the difference in the broader political landscape. So, let's talk about what really happened during Napoleon's invasion of Russia. The Russians, instead of fighting to the bitter end, simply retreated and burned their own land as they went. This scorched earth tactic was designed to deny Napoleon's army any resources and to wear them down. Napoleon did manage to capture Moscow, but it was a hollow victory. The city was largely abandoned and burned, so holding it didn't really give him the strategic advantage he hoped for. Without a clear plan for surviving the brutal Russian winter or a way to force a peace treaty, Napoleon found himself trapped. His lack of foresight and preparation for such harsh conditions ultimately cost him his empire. Now, it's important to understand that Napoleon entered Russia with the largest army in history at that point, but he didn't have a solid endgame. He believed that a few decisive battles would force the Russians to surrender, but that was a risky assumption. This campaign highlights a key transgression: Napoleon's overconfidence and underestimation of Russia's resilience. His invasion was driven more by the desire for quick victory rather than a well-thought-out strategy for a prolonged conflict. Overall, this episode underscores a crucial lesson. Military success isn't just about numbers or quick wins. It's about strategy, foresight, and adapting to the realities on the ground. Keys to power are really about understanding how to maintain control and make strategic decisions. The most dangerous moment often comes after a victory, when we might feel invincible. That's when arrogance can creep in and push us to go too far. So, it's crucial to plan your stopping point beforehand. Know when enough is enough. Knowing when to stop acts as a kind of anchor. It helps you stay focused and prevents you from getting sidetracked by emotional reactions or minor setbacks that don't actually serve your ultimate goal. Ignoring distractions is also key. Start by clearly visualizing your desired outcome. Picture the victory in your mind. Then, work backwards. Calculate every step needed to get from where you are now to where you want to be. Thinking backward allows you to see the entire path and identify the critical points where you need to stay disciplined. By doing this, you're more likely to stay on course and avoid unnecessary detours. So overall, these keys, knowing when to stop, having a plan, visualizing success, and working backward, are essential for staying powerful and achieving your goals effectively. All right, let's talk about the reversal and the fluid plan. The key idea here is to be prepared to improvise, but only within the framework of your ultimate goal. Think of it like water, flowing around obstacles rather than fighting against them. As long as you're still moving downhill, you're on the right track. It's important to remember that rigidity can be just as dangerous as having no plan at all. You need to plan the end goal carefully, but stay flexible on how you get there. No plan survives contact with the enemy perfectly, and that's okay. The real skill is adaptability, being able to adjust your approach as circumstances change, without losing sight of your final objective. This flexibility allows you to navigate unexpected challenges and still make progress. So, in the big picture, the message is, stay focused on your goal, be ready to adapt, and remember that a fluid, responsive approach often leads to success. Now, let's take a moment to acknowledge the sources of the images we've used throughout this presentation. First, we have an aerial view of illuminated paths in a dark concrete maze, which came from PNG Tree. Calm. This image helps illustrate the complexity and interconnectedness of our topic. Next, from Vectizi. Calm, we have a serene flowing water background, symbolizing clarity and fluidity in understanding. Then we see a portrait of Johans Hari. Bivouac at Molodchno, sourced from Meisterdruck, us representing reflection and artistic perspective. Moving on from Wikipedia, we have an image of Otto von Bismarck, reminding us of historical leadership and strategic thinking. Finally, from Stockcake, Calm, there's a dramatic chess game, an excellent metaphor for strategic decision-making and foresight. These images collectively support our theme of navigating complexity, making thoughtful choices, and understanding different perspectives.